Join me as I make a YouTube video for one of my TPT resources. Today I'm making a video to go along with a science reading passage about natural resources. This video serves as a read aloud with visuals. It will provide teachers with a modification for students who need a read aloud option or who might benefit from having the visuals to go along with the text. It's also a great review. I'm going to start using Google Slides. I'll use this to create the title page for my video, and I'm also letting viewers know right from the start that there's a reading passage that goes along with this video. Google Slides is a great way to add text or simple animations to YouTube videos. And I'll show you how I'm going to capture this as a video using Loom. Okay, so I have this title slide ready to go, and I'm going to show you how to capture it using Loom. And I'm actually just using my phone camera right now to show you this, not high tech at all, but another good option to consider when creating YouTube videos that works really well for hands-on demonstrations and that sort of thing. So Loom is free. With a free account, you can have, I believe, up to 25 videos stored that are each up to 5 minutes long, which is all you really need for this because you can just delete them after you download them. You don't need to store them on Loom. I'm also going to show you real quick Screencastify, which is another option to use for this same sort of screen capture. So you download Loom as an extension and launch it like this. I'm going to go ahead and use Loom to capture my title screen animations now. I like to wait for this press escape to exit full screen thing at the top to go away before I get going with the animations. Now I'm going to download that video from Loom like this. For some reason, I always have to refresh the page to get this download button activated. I don't know why, but that's what I do. Okay, now that that is downloaded to my computer, I will show you how to put it into the Canva video editor. Now when I go to the Canva video editor and click Create, I'm going to do a landscape video. And then I'm going to click on Uploads, and I'm going to add my video. I'm just going to drag and drop it from my Downloads folder. You can do that however it best works for you. So give that a minute to upload. And once it's uploaded, you can just drag and drop it into the first little frame here. And now we need to trim it a little bit because if you remember, I didn't want this part. I want to cut that part out. So it's super easy. Just click and drag the edge to cut off whatever parts you don't want. Okay, that looks about right. And I probably want this to be about, I don't know, maybe just like 6 seconds long. I don't need it to stick around forever at the end. So I can click and drag the other end to trim it a little bit shorter. So now I'm going to use a voice recorder app to actually record myself reading the reading passage aloud. This would be called a voiceover. So I'm going to click record, and then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to read this passage out loud like this. A resource is something you can use to get what you need. If you need shelter, you can use wood to build a house. And I'll go on and I'll read this whole passage, and then I will stop the recording and I will save it, and that downloads it to my downloads file. Now that I have the audio downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and upload it to the Canva video editor, which will just take a few seconds. Once it's uploaded, you can drag and drop it to below the images. That's where the audio goes. And you'll notice that it's going to stop where my images stop. And I can't drag this to adjust until I add more videos, more images here, which we'll do now. Okay, let's add some more images. So the first line of my passage says, a resource is something you can use to get what you need. So I've used Google Slides to set up like a little definition, some text there. And I'm actually just going to download this as an image. So that could be as a JPEG or a PNG, either one will work. I tend to use PNG. Download that. Let's go into our Canva video editor and we will upload that. And then once it's uploaded, we can drag and drop it into our video. Now, I actually wanted my voiceover to start with that second clip, so I'm going to adjust this so that I start talking like when that image appears, like this. A resource is something you can use to get what you need. Okay, great. That's kind of where I want that clip to end. So let's drag him. All right, great. Now I'll go in and get my next clip that I want. So let's see what I'm actually looking for here. If you need shelter, you can use wood to build a house. Okay, cool. So I might be looking for a video of someone building with wood. One good tool for that is Pixabay has videos that you can download. These are like royalty-free videos. Another one that I tend to like is Pexels. Pexels also has videos. So let's select video, and I'm going to search for like construction, because I'm looking at like someone building a house out of wood, specifically wood. Okay, great. Here's a video of someone using wood for building. So I'm going to download that. And let's go in and add that next. Now that that's downloaded, I'm going to drag and drop it into my next frame here. And you can see that extends my audio. So let's see where we need to cut that off. Get what you need. If you need shelter, you can use wood to build a house. All right, that's kind of where I want that to stop. So let's drag and drop that clip to stop it right there. Next, if you need food, you can use soil, water, and sunlight to grow crops. Okay, so maybe I'll go in and I'll search for farming or crops or something like that. And I'll see, I'll pick one of these videos out. I mean, this one looks pretty good. Let's do it. So I'll download it and I will upload it. And I'll continue to do this, dragging and dropping these videos into my frames here and kind of adjusting them to go along with the audio. And I'm going to use a combination of these stock videos and of my Google Slides, where I'm using text and animations to sort of add more to my video there. Let's go ahead and add this one in and see where we need to cut it off. If you need food, you can use soil, water, and sunlight to grow crops. Okay, that's a good place to stop. Drag and drop it to adjust. And I'll continue this way until I've added images to go along with my entire read aloud. So I've added all the visuals to my video. Some of them are videos and some of them I've used Google Slides to add text. And what I like to do at the very end of the video is create like a freeze frame and have my logo pop up. And then I also take this time to remind people that there's an actual resource that goes along with this video. So here's how I'll do that. I'll let it get to the end, and then I will take a screenshot of this so that I have it as an image. Sometimes it ends on an image as opposed to a video, but this happens to be a video. I will screenshot it, and then I will add that in as part of my video, like this. And then we can drag and drop that into our video and add the logo, which to add the logo, you just drag and drop it right on top, and you can resize it to fit however you want. I'm gonna make it pretty big, center it. You can also animate it, so we can try something like this. That's pretty cool. And then I'll say something, during this part of the video, I'll say something like, this video was brought to you by La Fontaine of Knowledge. Check the link in the description for lesson materials that go along with the video. And subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I want to take a second to point out, I tend to use Google Slides and Loom to create animations and capture them as videos. That's just what I'm used to and what I'm familiar with. You can also do that all within the Canva video editor though, like I did when I added my logo and animated it. You can add text and everything right on Canva. Now let's add some background music. YouTube has a great free audio library that you can use to get royalty-free like jingles. Pixabay also has royalty-free music. Just make sure you select music from this drop-down menu, and then you can search for like calm or whatever type of music you want. I actually have a song that I use for all of my reading passage videos, so I'm gonna go ahead and download that, and it comes from the YouTube audio library. So I'm gonna click the download button to download that. And now I'll show you how to add it to the video. So I'm just going to get to the beginning of the video here, and I am going to add my music file. Super easy. Let that upload for a minute. And then I'm going to drag and drop it. I want I'm just start at the very beginning. So it's going to go kind of like below my voiceover here. Let's check it out. A resource is something you can use. Okay, that's great, but the background music is a little bit too loud compared to my voice, so we can adjust the volume right up here. I'm going to turn it down to, let's try like 25. See if that sounds a little better. A resource is something you can use to get what you need. I might even go a little bit lower on the background. Okay. If you need shelter, you can use wood to build a house. That's sounding pretty good. If you need food, you can use soil. So now I'm going to go ahead and download my video. I'm happy with it. I have all my visuals. I have my voiceover. I have my background music. I have my little end screen, my title screen. I'm going to click on share. And I'm going to download the video. MP4 works. Download. And it's downloading. And once that's downloaded, I will show you how it turned out. A resource is something you can use to get what you need. If you need shelter, you can use wood to build a house. If you need food, you can use soil, water, and sunlight to grow crops. If you need to travel, you can use oil to power your car. These are examples of natural resources. Natural resources are resources found in nature. They are not made by humans. Examples include sunlight, air, water, plants, animals, soil, stone, minerals, and fossil fuels. We use these to take care of our basic needs and survive. We even use natural resources to make other resources. For example, oil is a natural resource. We can't make oil. We have to find it underground. Then we use oil to make gasoline, which powers our cars. Gasoline is a synthetic or man-made resource. It doesn't occur in nature in that form. Some natural resources are renewable and others are non-renewable. Renewable resources cannot be used up. We have an endless supply of sunlight, air, and water, although pollution can make them harder to use. We have a limited amount of non-renewable resources. These include plants, animals, soil, stone, minerals, oils, and natural gases. We use these resources faster than they can form. If we aren't careful, we could run out of our non-renewable resources. Natural resources are found all over Earth, but they aren't evenly distributed. Europe and the United States have a lot of fertile soil for growing food. They also have forests full of trees for building wooden shelters. The deserts in the Middle East have very little of these resources. Instead, they have most of the oil on Earth buried underground. Why does this happen? The climate of a region can affect its natural resources. The Middle East is far too dry for fertile soil and forests to exist there. Geologic processes can also affect natural resources. Minerals like gold and diamonds are more likely to form near fault lines and volcanoes. Fossil fuels like coal and oil form from the remains of ancient plants and animals. Areas with more ancient life also have more fossil fuels. The uneven distribution of natural resources affects humans all over the planet. Countries with fewer resources must trade what they have to get what they need. There have even been wars fought over resources like gold, oil, and fertile land. As we use up more and more, scientists search for ways to conserve what is left of our natural resources. This video was brought to you by La Fontaine of Knowledge. Check the link in the description for lesson materials that go along with the video, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Once we're sure we're happy with our video, we can upload it to our YouTube channel. So after you've created your channel, it's super easy to add videos. You just click on Create in the top right corner, upload videos, and then go ahead and either drag and drop or select files to add your video file. You'll want to give it a title, such as what are natural resources? And then you'll want to type up a little description, something like, in this video, we explore what are natural resources and where they come from, the difference between renewable, non-renewable, yada, yada. Get those keyword SEO words in there. And at the end, you're definitely going to want to add a UTM code so that you can track your link back to your TPT listing. Okay, so I've typed my video description, and as the very last line, I've said, click this link for a reading passage and comprehension questions that go along with the video. Now I'm going to use TPT's custom URL builder to create a custom link so that I'll know if any clicks come through YouTube. So I'm going to grab the link of the resource that goes along with this video, which is my natural resources reading passage, and I'm going to pop that in the top. The source is going to be YouTube, and then I need something to help me remember what this is. I'm just going to say natural resources passage. Generate. I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to put this right here. You cannot hyperlink on YouTube, which is kind of annoying, but it does. I know this looks super long. It will shorten that in the actual description, and it'll just show a chunk of that hyperlinked. But you can't like hyperlink text, which I wish you could. Okay, now we're going to add a thumbnail. So I've created one that acts as like the cover image. You can drag and drop that here. You can create custom playlists. I'm going to add this to my science lessons playlist. Yes, it is made for kids. That's really important. If you have a video that is made for children, as this one is, you need to mark that, and that makes sure that like the ads are appropriate and the other suggested videos are appropriate and that kind of thing. So yes, it's made for kids. Now, I have monetized this channel, and so I've got to click a few things regarding ads. If you're just starting out, this won't be part of yours yet. But later, hopefully, you will also be monetizing and approving ads. It auto-generates subtitles. I don't usually mess with that. No issues found. Creator music activated. Okay, that all looks good. Make sure you make it public. You can schedule this for the future. I'm just going to go ahead and publish it right now. So I'll click publish. It'll load for a moment. And that really is how easy it is. So this video is now live on my YouTube channel. I am going to add links to this video in my TPT resource. The TPT resource is also linked in the video description, so they kind of lead back to each other. And in this really beautiful way, I now have a video element to this reading passage. Teachers can click and access the video here, which they can use as a review or as a modification for students who need it. And people who find this video on YouTube can find the link to the reading passage right here in the description. So in this really cool way, they sort of feed each other, and that's what it's all about.